Goodbye, beach body people.
Go ahead.
Bye, Kato.
Go for it.
Hi, welcome Team Empower. We're so excited that you are here with us. We're hoping to kick this call off with a few pointers to start your 2017 year off, right? But first, I just want to make a few announcements just from the coach breaking news. It's time to register for the Team Cup, which will happen next month. So if you're not with a team, get with a team. And I just wanted to briefly go over the prizes because maybe that will encourage you to get on a team because that's fun. So each team can consist of 5 people, and there are 3 tiers of prizes. So if you, let me just pull, I already had it up. Oh, prizes right here. Okay, so if you, if your team of 5 reaches 30 points and you yourself hit Success Club 5, then you get a Beachbody Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so that's definitely attainable. You hit Success Club 5 and your whole team hits 30 and you get a Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so then let's see the next one. If your whole team hits 50 points and your Success Club 7 or more, then you get the speaker and a Beachbody cooler bag. And then the third tier point, if your team hits 75 points and you personally get 10 or more, then you get a Shakeology sleeveless hoodie plus the other 2 prizes. So, and if you really want to push hard and be the #1 team of all Beachbody, you get a trip to Los Angeles in April. So, I mean, that would be cool. So if you're not on a team, get on a team. It's really fun just to work with people for a month to, work on your business. So, they dropped the price of Country Heat Challenge Pack officially to $140. It's no longer $160. Still comes with the container system. It's also available as a program without the container system now, which I think is $40 US dollars. I'm not sure what it is in Canadian. Okay, so those are the main 2 announcements. So we have 6 different points that we wanted to talk about today, and I wanted this to be like more of a workshop type thing. So after each point, I want you to write down how you're going to apply it to your business. So get out a pen and a paper if you're listening and get ready to apply. This is nothing novel. It's stuff we talk about all the time, but rather than just talking about it, I want you guys to actually apply it. This is next to me. Okay. So the first point is to be consistent. I honestly think this is the key to anything you want to be successful at, is being consistent, whether it's your business or your family or your marriage or your work, whatever. Being consistent is the key. So if you want to make a real difference in people's lives, so there's 2 different points of being consistent I want to hit on. And the first one is social media. If you want to make a real difference, hey bud. You have fun? Oh, good.
I got a plate too.
You did? Nice. High five. Go get your jammies on. I'll come tuck you in, okay?
But can I?
Just a minute. I'm on a call. You can have 2 bites, okay? Sorry. Okay, so if you want to make a real difference in people's lives, which is the main reason why people sign up, is because you want to help people, right? Okay, if you want to really be an influence, you have to be consistent on social media and learn how to create a social media presence, okay? So you need to start being consistent with your social media posts that add value. And I definitely don't think that you should just be posting your workouts and your food all the time. Like maybe 15% of the time should be those, the workouts and the food, and the other 85%, there we go, do that fast math in my head, should be ways to add value in other ways, okay? Life experience, humor, lessons that you've learned, tips. My best engagement typically comes from small life lessons. So you need to start being consistent. Even if you choose to start with 1 post per day, you don't have to jump into posting 3 times per day. If you're already struggling to post once a day, then make your goal once a day for a week and then up your goal. But you need to be consistent with that. If you think about your a small group of friends that you have physically, not online, the ones that really have an impact on you are people that are always in your life, whether they're just sending you a quick text or you see them at work, or their family that you're talking to, whatever. They're people that are constantly being in your life, and the same thing in your social media feed. Like, you need to be constantly in people's feed in a valuable way. So the second point of being consistent is with connecting with people. So consistent with social media and consistent with connecting. Connecting is part of the invite process that I think is the most important. You should spend most of the invite process should be connecting with people, just to connect with them, not to even do with Beachbody. If you want to focus on building relationships during the connection process, you need to not like be really aiming towards a sell, okay? Even though ultimately maybe that's why you're doing it, that doesn't mean that's going to happen right off the bat. So you need to jump off to the point of building relationships. So my question and how I want you to apply it now is, how and what are you going to be more consistent in with this new year? Okay, whether it's going to be different for everybody, because necessarily for me, it's not, I don't need to focus on being consistent with posting because that I already am doing that. So that's not something I have to work on. So I want you to pick something that you need to be more consistent on or with, and write it down, like to yourself, like write, dear Jillian, or dear Stacy, be consistent with, I will be consistent with this in 2017. And then I want everyone to share. And I'll set my timer. You have 2 minutes. And while you're writing, one tip I feel like is helpful when it comes to being consistent is planning. It's a lot easier to be consistent if you already have it planned into your schedule. So I would plan out at least your month as far as when you're going to do a clean eating group, when you're going to do a challenge group, when you're going to announce your challenge group, when you really need to focus on messaging. I have uploaded a file to Team Empower just a few hours ago, our calendar, mine and Lacey's calendar for January, and I'll do the same thing for February, so you can get a feel of when our dates are, when we announce things. Whether you want to follow that calendar or not, you're going to be more likely to be more consistent if you plan what you're wanting to be consistent with into your schedule.
And I think along with that too, it's important to keep it out where you can see it, because originally and for a lot of last year, I wrote a lot of my my dates and stuff in my calendar, but then it would go in on my shelf, and I'd open it a week later and be like, oh crap, we were supposed to announce a clean eating group, I was supposed to do this, we were supposed to have a coaching webinar, and we just didn't do it because I didn't see it. But now I've started writing it. I have a calendar right behind me, a big one on the wall, and so every day I see it multiple times, and so I can see what we're supposed to do instead of just writing it down and sticking it in a calendar on my shelf. It's been really helpful to keep it visible. Yeah.
So that, for example, since, you can't even see. So there's our calendar right there. I just did it on Google Calendar and then printed it out. But I was the same way as Lacey. I just wrote it down in my planner and then put it away. Hey, Stacy, look, there's your magnet. I love it. But anyways, having it a place where you can see is important, like she said. So, okay, so for my thing that I want to be better at being duplicatable with, as I wrote down, I need to be more, no, not duplicatable. I need to be more consistent with being duplicatable. I find myself doing training or posting, tips and stuff in batches or occasionally, but I'm never consistent. I need to be better, with the team, be better at maybe posting my personal development takeaways daily, or come up with some sort of system other than these calls. So that's what I want to be more consistent on. What about you, Lace?
I am going to be more consistent with scheduling my time to make it more valuable. So to make sure I get the very most out of the time that I have, I thought that I'd have all this time once all my kids were in school. And now I'm realizing I feel like I have even less time because there's so many drop-offs and pickups and running in between. And so I literally have like a block of 2 hours in the middle of the day and then a few in the morning and a few in the evening. And so I know that I need to make my time count. And so I'm going to be more consistent with making sure I have a schedule every single day. So I know that all of those minutes were valuable.
Perfect. What about you, Stace? You're muted.
I just jumped back into the conversation. I was listening to Erin live in our group. So what was the question?
What are you choosing to be more consistent with?
Oh, man. I think record keeping. So I was really good at, when I first started, at keeping track of everyone who ever like thought that they might be interested or like liked something that was associated with the group. And I haven't been tracking that, so I really don't know like where to go back to when I want to follow up. And I need to start doing that again.
Yeah.
So I've already started to do that this week.
Are you just doing that like on a pad of paper, or do you have a system you find that works well with different categories? Like,
Yeah. So it's actually really simple. Erin and I have a spreadsheet with little tabs at the bottom, and we share that document with each other. And each tab has a date, so it's like they alternate. So it's like clean eating group this date, challenge group this date. And then we share the same spreadsheet, and we'll just have columns for like which coach it is. But we'll put everyone who's ever like had any sign of interest on the spreadsheet. And then if they're not interested that month, we'll just move them to the next month. And that way we know to follow up with them. And then we have a tab for every group we've ever done. But the last few months, I haven't been using it as well to capture those people who may have commented or liked or I think would be interested. I've only been putting the people who actually said that they were interested.
That's cool. That's a good idea. I like that. Okay, Jillian, how about you? What do you want to be consistent with this year?
I think all of it. No, posting and connecting. I need to be consistent in. I don't post. I think it's so easy to post every day. Why don't I do that? And then I don't do it. And connecting, I feel like I'm good at connecting with, just about random stuff with whoever's on my Facebook page or whatever. I always comment back or whatever. But I'm not like seeking out people.
mm-hmm. Like to connect with.
Yeah.
So that's your goal?
That's my goal.
I need to write
How's
this.
that?
That's really good. I'm going to write this down. Whatever.
Okay. You can ask me about it in a month from now and make me feel bad because I haven't been doing it. Just kidding. That won't happen. That won't happen this time.
Okay, what about you, Kelly? Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you hear what we're talking about?
Yes. I think for me, like trying to be consistent with posting on Facebook lately and like connecting to real life lessons. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to connect like with the moms or with like students or with teachers? I don't know. My life's crazy, so I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to connect with people. So
I think that's great. You kind of have right now you have your foot in a lot of different like areas right now, like being in school and teaching and being a mom,
Yeah.
You have the ability to connect and relate to a lot of different people. So I don't know if I'd be worried about, well, I can't post this because I'm not going to connect with this group. I think whatever would connect with you in your stage of life right now is what is worth posting, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And I think I just like need to, I don't know, make them like more personal or something and not always just like take a picture of my kids and post it, which that's always great, but just kind of more variety.
Totally. You're totally right. And I think that will resonate with people more too. I love I love that you said life lessons, like posting around life lessons. I think that's a really good way to influence people and bring people to you as being a source of like teaching through example without being like teaching or preaching, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So that's really great. Awesome. Love it. What about you, Rachel? Are you still there?
Yes. I am a broken record, but stop, please. I just need to be consistent with my own journey and sharing that journey with other people.
Okay.
Because I can't be a successful coach if I'm not consistent in my own journey. So that's like my number one focus right now. And just sharing as I go. And I'm not really like doing groups right now.
Mhm.
Because I feel like I've got to get my own crap together before I can start that. So that's kind of where my focus is right now.
Rachel, I think that's perfect. I don't want you, like, don't you look like you feel bad saying that. Like, I don't think that that's bad to say at all. Being consistent with your own journey should be the number one thing everyone's doing anyway. And I think it's awesome that you're even thinking about, okay, not only do I want to be consistent with my journey, but I also want to then share that with other people. Like, that's still in that coaching mindset, whether you believe it or not, you know. And I think that that's awesome. That's a great goal on consistency.
Good.
So, okay, I'm going to move on to point number 2. Let's see. Treat your business like your business. And I feel like I've always said, treat this business like a business. But as I was typing this out, I like erased a business and in all caps wrote your business. Like, this isn't just a business. Your business is not my business. Okay. And your business is your business. So you need to treat it that way. If you want to make money doing this, which we all do, okay, you've got to commit to showing up every day, okay? And something else that I think is important is that if this was your business, like if you opened, I don't know, a clothing store or something, any storefront, you would have to learn about what it's like to work in that either retail business or whatever area that you're in. So if you're within the Beachbody business, you need to seek out that development that you need. Don't just wait for us or your upline to teach you. So go into your back office and learn about cycle bonuses and rank in the leadership ladder and how to be an effective leader and social media, you know, whatever areas you're struggling in. Don't just acknowledge that you're struggling with that, but act like this is your business and find a way to develop in that area. So if you go in your back office and click on the news and training, there's so much back there. If you're a coach and you want to be an Emerald, look up the Coach to Emerald training. If you want to be Diamond, look up the Emerald to Diamond training. There's so many resources back there. And so when you treat your business like a business, I just don't mean to show up every day. I mean, figure out how to be your own boss. Figure out how to be your own CEO. That only comes with learning how to do that. And of course, we're here to help you. You know, we try to provide stuff like this on team calls. And there's always Inspire. But there's nothing like learning something yourself, like seeking it out and reading it and applying it yourself. So that is another point. So I want to give you 2 minutes to answer the question, how will you treat your business like a business? And I'm looking for something specific, not some big goal in 2017 that you'll do, but something that you can do next week before our next call. How can you treat your business like a business? And I'm setting the timer. You have 2 minutes. Time moves so slowly on these calls when we set time to have you guys apply stuff. Like, this is taking forever. Okay. So what I wrote for mine, and then we'll go through everybody. How am I going to apply what I said? Is I'm going to start setting, well, first thing actually that I'm going to do is I'm going to finish my Jesse Regan training so I can teach my team. So I really believe in what I've seen already in the Jesse Regan training, and my whole goal this year is to be more duplicatable. And so something I want to apply this week is really diving further into his training, and then whether I just type something up or do a live video or whatever on what I learned, and then passing that information on to the team. So that's how I'm going to make my business my business. What about you, Jillian?
I need to set business hours, basically. I never have. I always thought, I can wing it. Even though you've told me 100 times that I need to set business hours. So yeah, I don't know when those can be right now, but I need to brainstorm that and figure that out.
Perfect. I think that's a big deal, setting business hours, because that helps you then be more consistent, like what we already talked about, if you can set those hours. Okay, what about you, Stacy?
So business hours is a big thing because I haven't been consistent with when I'm working like I used to be. So yes, I want that 2-hour chunk of time first thing in the morning because that's like the best time for me. And then Erin and I are really going to hit it hard this year with treating our business as a business. So we're going to start to combine our forces a little bit, and we've got some exciting stuff coming up that is going to be awesome.
You're just going to leave it at that? You're not going to tell us what awesome things?
Erin can tell you about it when we get there.
Okay, cool. Erin, it's your turn.
Surprise. Well, I didn't write that. I'll tell you what I wrote first was that I have just invested in Social Team Builder. I'm pumped. I took like billions of notes on the free training, and oh, sorry, my husband's home. Yay. But I don't like to spend money. So I'm trying to spend money to make money. Not that that's like my main goal, but invest in it. Like, take it seriously. Put my money where my mouth is. So a little bit of that. And you just said this, but I need to go back in there and see that Coach to Emerald training again, since I ain't no Emerald anymore. So go back in there and get like a plan. And then I also wrote office hours, you guys, as you all did. And I put parentheses, locking the door, because I apparently had some, I try, but then they're crawling on me like this. So, the 2-year-old doesn't respect business hours. So I have an office in my new house, so I can lock it. And just like Jillian said, I don't quite know when the best times are, but I'm going to find them. And then I don't know if this goes under like treating your business like your business, but go just back to basics. Success Club needs to happen. And I have lots of goals, but set that one goal right in front of me, because that's the basis for some other goals. So that's what I wrote down. Stacy, should we tell them what we were thinking that we should do this year?
Yeah.
Well, so what, and I actually did this. Do you need to tell me anything? No? Okay, then go away.
Very exciting.
Oh,
I'll tell you about it.
okay. He had to go in because a baby was born tonight.
Aww.
Hi, Dave.
They say hi. So I had started just a little bit ago, ErinLeninger.com, because I wanted to be able to put recipes and like things in a place that I could then put on our clean eating menus and send to people. Like, I'm just done sending them to some other coach's site for a recipe. I can't stand it. And so I had done that, but Stacy and I were like, well, this should be like more joint, and we should be collaborating a little bit more. So we have just purchased a domain to like have a place together, since we're running everything together, that we will put our stuff. And we will see if that ever goes, like if that goes to a like page that's managed in that way, or like how you guys do it. I think there's a lot to think about there. But and with Social Team Builder, I know he says to have your own place and your own thing and do that. So but anyway, it's sick. Oh, and our name, should we tell her? We had to come up with a name. So you guys have like the best one ever. But we had to come up with Mama Means Fit. So it's pretty similar.
I love that.
Like that.
There were other ones, but they're like taken. So it was like we almost felt like we had to grab something before it's gone.
Right.
So anyway, we did. So we're starting to invest in that a little bit more too.
Oh, I
That's
love
awesome.
it. Cool, guys. That's exciting. Okay, Kelly, what about you? How are you going to make your business this week?
I think for me, just like doing at least like 1 power hour a week is a good goal for me. Like on Saturdays when I don't really have to sleep in, I should get up and get stuff done. Because that's like my biggest thing. Because like during the week at night when I was setting my business hours, I do homework now. So I think that's going to be like my thing, is just getting that power hour in, or even just planning out my posts for the week. I think that would be super helpful to help me like be consistent in my social media and everything.
I think that's a great idea. I think a lot comes from planning your posts. I feel like it makes me more effective throughout the week when I do that. But still allowing like filler posts for when I want to be like in the moment type of posts, you know, but I feel like having an arsenal to draw from and schedule some is a good idea.
Yeah. So that's like, and then from there I can like add more, but I think that's like at least an achievable goal right now.
Perfect. I think that's great. Awesome. Okay, what about you, Rachel?
So I put down to just come up with my business plan, and like really I need to figure out what the heck I want and what my business looks like. The other day Lindsay said something in one of the mini groups that I'm in with you guys, about trying to become her own coach and not a coach that she thought that she was supposed to be. And that like was totally me. I'm like, yeah, I need to figure out what it looks like for me and define my own success and define what my business is. So yeah, that's I guess that's how I'm going to treat it like a business, like decide what my business is.
I think that's so good. And I think it's good. I remember coming to that realization too when I was talking to my coach, Tiffany, and I was kind of like at a crossroads because I'm like, I don't want to be at a point where I don't want to put in the time to bring in as much money as you. Like, I don't want to be at that point where I'm working like 8 hours a day or whatever and bringing in a full-time. I don't want to bring my husband home from work. Like, I don't want to be that person. And for some reason I was thinking I either had to be that or not coach at all, you know, or be like a discount coach, one of those two things. And then during that conversation with her, I realized like, you can define what being a coach means for you. You know, I don't have to be that coach. And for some reason that was such a load off for me, knowing I didn't have to be the top coach in the company. Like, it's okay if that wasn't my goal, and it's not my goal. So I think that's great, defining what a coach means to you and what your plan will be to achieve that. It's awesome. Let's see. Did we hit everyone? Let me check my list. Yeah, we did, right? Oh, Lacey.
My goal for my business is just to go in prepared. I feel like I did this really well during the summer when my kids were home, because I knew that I had limited time without them. And so I worked really hard to make sure that I had like my posts all scheduled for the week and was ready for calls and that kind of stuff. And now things have, like, school started, and I kind of feel like I can slow down a little bit. I guess I haven't been as proactive in going in prepared, and I often find myself thinking, crap, I need to post something. What the heck am I going to say? And, you know, spending so much time trying to come up with something to say and an image and all that kind of stuff. Or, oh, dang it, I have a call. Like, what are we going to talk about? Let me scan over something. And so that's my goal in making my business is just to be more proactive and going in prepared.
Perfect. I think that's excellent. It's funny how you end up doing more with less time because you know you have less time, so you're more prepared.
Totally.
Okay, the third point. I'm sorry, guys. We really wanted to make this a short call, and now we're like keep talking forever. So I'm sorry. Okay, the third point is to set business hours, which sounds redundant, because I know that was the answer for a lot of your the last point. But this is something I think it's hard for everyone. We all get it in our heads, but then we don't do it. You have to separate yourself from the business every day. I mean, setting business hours helps in two ways. Like, it helps you be active if you're not active, and it helps you slow down if you're being too active. I think it's important to really, especially if you're being too active, to separate yourself from the business. Because if you work all day, every day, you're going to get burned out. So the question is, you know, I remember when I was a first coach, I'm going to sit down for my power hour, and then I didn't know what to do. Like, I think going into your power hour with a list is important. You'll be more effective that way. So when in doubt during your business hours, you can always follow the bat. And you can, of course, connecting with people, of course, that's all part of the bat. So this tip or this segment or this point or whatever it's called, just setting your business hours. So I know I've talked to people that are like, oh, my week's so different week to week. I can't just set a certain time when it is. So that doesn't give you an excuse not to set hours. Okay. That doesn't mean you have to set hours for like the whole month at one time. But if you know what your week's going to look down, you can sit down on Sunday night and plan out your business hours for the week. Okay. You know what appointments you have that week, who's going to be where that week. So you can schedule in your power hours or your business hours a week in advance. And even if your schedule is so chaotic that you don't even know what your week's going to be like, you can at least do it for the night before. You know, if anything, being consistent with setting your business hours is going to give you, even if it's 30 minutes, you guys, you're going to be better off and more successful in your business if you do that. So I want you to, for this application, I want you to think about next week. So I'm not asking you to set your business hours for all of 2017, but I want you to think about your next week and when your business hours are going to be for this next week. Go. All right, we're just going to jump through everyone really quick. My business hours for the next week are going to be the 30 minutes I have right after my workout before my kids wake up, and then I have a solid hour and a half when Nora is napping in the middle of the day. Okay, what about you? Let's see, Kelly.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna do an hour in the morning on Saturdays, like from 6 to 7 for right now.
That's perfect. Thank you. What about you, Erin?
First of all, I need to look 1 week ahead. I think that's perfect. I hadn't been thinking that way. So next week is crazy. I'm going to try to, next week is a challenge to myself to go to bed super early. So I'm going to try to get up and have my power hour in the morning. And I'm not going to work out there. I mean, I'd love to do that morning workout, but it's actually going to be work, and then work out during nap. And then I hope to always, I mean, like at the end of the day, I have to check in and do a little bit there too. So like morning and evening, but I'm going to try to leave my midday free and do my workout at midday.
That's a good plan. I like that. What about you, Jillian?
Did she hear you?
Um,
Are you talking to me or Jillian?
Jillian.
Sorry. I'm going to try for 2 to 3 in the afternoon to do a power hour, pull out the bat, and I'm thinking of going over, like thinking in my head the night before at least, or making a list of what I need to do the night before. And then hopefully that'll help me be more productive that hour.
That's perfect. Writing all this down, you guys, when I talk to you next week.
Okay.
Okay, Stacy? You're muted.
Oh.
So my confession is that I'm going to confess to you right now, something you guys probably already know, but I steal company time and work at work. No, but I want to do, my most productive time is like the 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning, like right when I get to work. So I'm going to do that, but then my next productive time would be like 8:30 to 9:30 at night. So I'm just going to do an hour, 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning, and then 8:30 to 9:30 at night.
Perfect. Awesome. I love that. Rachel, are you there still or no?
Yes, I'm here. I think I like Kelly's thinking just because I'm just focusing right now on sharing my journey. That's kind of what I'm doing. So I think just on Saturday, really planning out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to post for the week. And yeah.
I think that's awesome. Do you have like a schedule for when you want to work out and stuff?
Yes. I made a schedule. I'm working out every day when I first get home from school,
Okay.
except for Thursdays. I have to work out in the morning. And I'm going to wake up, Kelly, and work out with you on Thursdays.
Okay, so every day after school except for Thursday in the morning.
Yep. That's my schedule.
Cool. What about you, Erin?
You already did, Erin.
Oh. Have I done everyone?
Didn't do me.
Except for you.
I'm doing Monday 10 to 12, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 12:30 to 2:40 when I have to go pick up Indy, and then Friday 10 to 12 when she's in dance, and then Saturday 8 to 10 in the morning.
You have good chunks of time. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, but look where I am, dude. Like, come on, Beachbody. So.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next 3 points, Lace, they're yours. And
Oh, fine. Okay. So point number 4 is, I think, probably one of the most important ones, and that is don't give up. We have seen so many coaches with so much potential give up and walk away. And I'm not going to lie. Some of them, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know, just wasn't a really good fit for you. That's okay. But 9 out of 10 of them, it's like a heartbreak because you see the potential and they give up. And so I think that was one of my big eye-openers at 2 summits ago was just the importance of not giving up, because we hear so many of these like 6-month success stories and they are making millions. And I mean, I had to fast forward through all of like the recognition and stuff of the national wake-up calls. 1, because it gets annoying, and 2, because I always felt like crap. I always felt like, you know, I've been a coach as long as she has, and she's speaking and making all this money and helping all these people. And you want to know what? It doesn't matter. Don't compare your business to somebody else's business, because it's like comparing your fitness journey to theirs. It's your journey. And so if you don't give up and you are being consistent, you're bound to be successful. It might take 6 months. It might take 6 years. But in the end, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And so embrace the journey that you're on and just be willing to look at it and say, I'm just not going to give up. And, you know, I think that that's one of the things, like I was talking about at Summit, Allie and I realized their theme was never give up. And we just realized, you know what, come what may, you know, everything can fall apart. That's fine. but we're not going to give up because it's not worth it to give up. This is a platform you have to stand on to share your message, that you get to share whatever message burns within you. You get to share your passion. And so don't give up on that, because there's people that need to hear it, and you need to share it, because the more you share it, the more convicted you become and the stronger you become as well. So, what I want you guys to do for the next 2 minutes is to write down and think about and own what you are not going to give up on. What is something that you are going to hold on to? It might be hard. You might want to cry about it and throw it against the wall, but you're not going to give up.
I think it's important too to say Lacey and I have felt like giving up lots of times. I think you're always going to have times when you feel like this isn't for you. You're going to question whether or not you are worth being here, or if you can do this, or why you signed up to do this. It's not like you're never going to have those doubts again. I don't think success is from not having doubts. I think that's having those doubts and working through them and figuring out how to get past them and finding that worth or that ability that you have in you. So don't ever think anything less of yourself if you come to a point where you want to give up, because Lacey and I have talked each other off that ledge multiple times.
Totally.
So,
and I think it's important along with that to be willing to reach out to your success partner or to one of us or to whoever it is and just say, this is where I'm at. This is how I feel. And I think a lot of times just talking it and saying it out loud allows you just to get it out instead of it running around in your brain and taking over with, you can't do this, and why are you trying? And, all of the doubts that just cloud our mind. So, okay, we're going to start with you, Al. What is something you are not going to give up on?
So I wrote down that I'm not going to give up on being a leader. That's something I feel like is one of those looming doubts in my head. And I don't mean leader. I feel like I've got a handle on social media presence and a leader to the general public following. But as far as a leader for this team, I have a lot of doubts and I see a lot of areas of weakness. And so I'm choosing, though, even though those doubts are in my head, not to give up on that and learning to learn more, committing to learn more about how to lead a successful team.
I like that. Awesome. Stacey, how about you?
Mine's kind of similar to Allie's. So I'm not going to give up on being a coach to coaches. Part of me hesitates to recruit coaches because I know that there's a lot of work that goes into the recruiting process. But I think that that's selfish of me to say that. I just think that I've got to work on finding a process that works and can easily be duplicated. But you guys do an excellent job providing some great ideas and resources too for that. The other part is I'm not going to give up on growing and learning and trying. I don't want to ever feel comfortable where I'm at. I'm not going to give up on trying to hit Success Club every month. I told myself I was going to, and I've decided I'm not going to. I'm not going to give up.
I like that. That's awesome. You've been such an example on being consistent with Success Club and being consistent with reaching out to people and being consistent with, growing your team. So I love that you have been able to kind of wrap words around it and your own conviction around that you aren't giving up. So that rocks. Great job, Stacey. How about you, Jillian? What are you not going to give up on?
I'm not going to give up on the idea that I can do this. I've been through every single excuse, and I know it's an excuse, but I don't have the time, or a big hang up is what will people think of me? You know, I mean, just everyone that maybe all of us have thought. So that's it for now, is just to not give up on that idea that I can do it.
I love that.
That's so important.
For sure. I think that that's probably like the biggest step. You know, once you believe you can do it, then that's all that matters. I remember when I was running my photography business and I was trying to figure out my prices, and I always felt so uncomfortable and nervous telling people what my prices were. And I can't remember if it was my mom or my dad, they might have both said it to me, but they said, if you can stand in front of the mirror and look yourself in the face and say what your prices are and feel comfortable with it, then there's no reason that you can't do that to another person. And I think it's all about being able to confront yourself and telling yourself that you can do it. And then everybody else just follows suit. So I think that's great, Jillian. That's awesome. Good job. Okay, Erin, how about you? What are you not going to give up on?
I wrote down, I'm just going to say my marriage too. I'm not going to give up on my marriage. I should have wrote that first. I put the vital behaviors. I love them. We did a sneak peek tonight. I want to always be exercising like this. It just makes me feel so dang good. And the personal development I love it. So if I never tried to get a challenger, I would want to still be doing those things. And what I love about that is you just have to do that, and then you just have to like share. So it's a nice, easy, I like it. And then I put being real. I've had my most doubtful time just recently, which actually surprises me, but it's good. I've had not conflicting messages from people, just this one person. And she was making me doubt everything. But then I've had such an influx of people that private message. They don't even like my stuff. They don't like any of the stuff I post, but they private message me and say, please never stop posting. You let me know that I'm not the only mom that's like failing. And like those things, they prop me up more than anything ever. And so I've been learning lately to just hold on to those. And, you know, if there's a message coming from someone else that's related to me, then I can toss that away a little bit.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And I love how you have implemented, you know, personal development and all that stuff into your marriage and into just everyday parts of your life, that these vital behaviors it's just not a business behavior. It's a lifestyle behavior, and it's, you know, benefited all the areas of your life. So I think that's awesome. Great job, Erin. Kelly, how about you? What is something you are not going to give up on?
I think for me, the biggest thing that I'm focusing on right now is just like continuing my own fitness journey. So just not giving up on myself. Because sometimes I think that I get so busy that I just like put myself to the side and make sure everything else gets done. So I think that's probably like the biggest thing for me is like what Erin was saying, like when I exercise every day, it just feels so much better, and I can take 30 minutes out of the day, like for me. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of like my thing is just like I get in a groove and then for some reason I stop. So just to like keep continuing for right now. So yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Great job. Okay, Miss Rachel, how about you?
I'm not going to give up on just becoming the best version of myself and helping other people become the best version of themselves, because that's what I want to do.
Totally. That's like that. Love that. That's awesome. Al, did you say something?
I just said that's perfect.
Okay. And I just real quick, what I'm not going to give up on is I'm not going to give up on my dreams. Sometimes I feel like my dreams are too big, and I doubt, just like Jillian was saying, I doubt me and my ability to accomplish them. I often ask my husband, like, can I really do this? Like, is this really something I am capable of doing? So I'm going to stop doubting my dreams and go for it. So number 5 is to track what you're doing. We track our food, we track our finances, We track all sorts of things. It's super, 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 super important to track your business. Just like Stacy was saying, if you can track the people who have been in your challenge group or who have commented on your posts or you've messaged, you've had connection with, you don't have to start from scratch. You'll be able to pick right back up with where you are. You won't let people fall between the cracks. You'll know who you need to reach out to. And I think not only does it help you know, but it also makes them feel important that you remembered them and that they're important. And it's not that you don't want to remember them, but our lives get busy and we get crazy. And, and we're lucky if we're remembered to put kids' lunches in their bags. Life is just crazy. And so if it's written down and you are able to track where you're at, what you've done, who you've talked to, all the aspects of your business, it just makes it so much easier, just like tracking our food. And I think along with that, I recently have been following Chalene Johnson's new project, her Push Journal, and I'm kind of obsessed. I'm seriously considering spending a ridiculous amount of money on these little 30-page journals because I love it. Surprise, surprise. I know, right? Seriously. But I love the idea of it. And I've shown restraint and I have not purchased them. I'm going to make my own. Thank you, sister. But I love the idea of it because it allows you to track and to be intentional with your time, but also track what you're doing so you know where to go. So just quickly, so we're not on here all night long, write down what you're going to track this week. Yeah. I already know. Okay, Allie, what are you going to track this week?
I wrote down people that I'm inviting to the coaching opportunity as well as prospects for coaching. I feel like I kind of lose track of them after they leave my challenge group, and I kind of, if I've mentioned it to them before, or I think they would be a good coach, and they get in the grad group, and I kind of I don't know. Then I'm focusing on the next set of challengers. So that's a specific group of people that I want to make sure I'm actually physically writing down in a notebook.
Perfect. Love it. Stacy, how about you? What are you going to track this week?
So I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to track people who engage with posts that are related to a group, and engaging by not even commenting, even just liking or liking someone else's comment on there. So the ones that aren't speaking but are still engaging.
Love that. That's awesome. Because those are often the best prospects because they're seeing it all. That's awesome. Love that. Jillian, how about you? What are you going to track this week?
This is harder for me to think about. But I've been posting what I've been eating. I've been tracking what I've been eating and posting that on Facebook for a couple weeks now. And maybe I can start tracking those that have shown interest in that or liked or commented on my food posts.
Good idea.
Perfect. That's a great idea.
Or something later.
It's perfect. Okay, Rachel, what are you going to track this week?
Just like the other Rachel.
I'm going to track my food and my exercising. So I know that's not specifically. Sorry, that's not specifically the coaching, but that's my focus. So that's what I'm going to really work on tracking. And I've already I've already written out what workouts I'm doing every day, what I'm eating, but I'm going to check mark off as I do them so that I'm keeping track of that.
Awesome.
That's part of the business. You are your business. So, and it's amazing how far a sticker chart can go to motivate you.
Totally. Great job, Rachel. Erin, what are you going to track this week?
You guys, I'm trying really hard to track like you've told us to do, and I'm so bad at it. I've started like 4 binders, and then like, well, they're not everywhere. Rachel, I would say this month I put up the Quarter Force like workout thing, and I'm doing a red X on it, and it's so satisfying, and I love it. And my husband's doing it with Body Beast, like we cross them off. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Why was I not doing that? I don't know. But my peeps, everyone, like, I'm doing better. I printed off my list. I've got my gals for the month, but like I friended some new people, and it's getting further out, right? So I do need to write how, why they're there, and through whom. And then I was thinking back today of, like Allie said, grads, like the people who came through. Like Stacey and I have been doing this a long time. Like that was a long time ago, and I'm really good with some of them. But then there's those ones that are like, oh yeah, she was in my group. So everything.
You weren't on the call earlier when I was telling them that I went back through some of our oldest tabs on our spreadsheet, and I messaged some of the original people in like our very first clean eating groups.
The originals, we should call them something. Was that October? Some of my best people, like my family members, were in our first group, like my mom and my sister-in-law, and they keep being in every group. So I have a lot of repeats, you guys. I don't have a lot of new people. So it's not too hard to track some of them, but yeah. Those others. Our originals. That's what we're going to call them.
Well, and I think it takes time to find your right system. Like I've started so many tracking systems, like with tabs and papers and boards and whatever. Like it takes time to find your groove. And I'm still working on perfecting that. So, it definitely takes time. So that's awesome that you're continuing to do it. And don't even feel bad when you don't remember people in your group. Like there's oftentimes people in the grad group that I'm like, is she mine? Is she Allie's? Like, Al, is she yours? She's like, no, she's not mine. I'm like, oh crap. Like, I don't even know who she is. Dang it. So that's why it's super important to keep track of them for sure.
I would say I've flipped a lot between trying to, like, is it electronic or paper? I've gone back and forth so much with that, thinking I do a lot. I wish I didn't. And like I said, I want my business hours to be more morning and night when I'm home and not on this in the car, sitting in parking lots waiting for things. But I'm back to paper again, which I think is good. And I went back and found your old video of you showing your binder and how you do it. I searched for it, found it, and tried to do that. So if anyone like makes changes or has good systems, like do a video and show us it, because I will watch it.
It's awesome. Kelly, what are you going to track? Did she hear me? Kelly? No? Yes?
Sorry, I can hear you. My phone's kind of being slow. Let's see. For me, I think I'm going to focus on tracking. Is it working?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay. I'm going to focus on tracking my food more because this week has been awful. I was doing really good except for this week. And then also tracking like who's commenting on my posts. Because sometimes I feel like it's the same people, but kind of like watching for that. Like, is it the same people? And like, am I commenting back on them or just like sending them a message? So, yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome. Love it. Fantastic. Okay, so last but not least, our number 6 tip for 2017 to make it most productive is personal development. Granted, it's a vital behavior, but I think it's probably the least trumpeted vital behavior, and it's definitely one that I let fall through the cracks for a long time because I didn't see the importance of it in it. I felt like I'm doing this work. I'm too busy to sit down and read a book, and I really didn't utilize it. And that is, I think, when most of the doubts start to like filter in, and we start to doubt ourselves. We start to doubt what we're doing. We start to feel super incompetent in what we are trying to accomplish, and that is usually a huge telltale sign that personal development is not happening. Personal development doesn't have to. Everybody smile.
Hey, hold on a second. Did you just take a picture? I was going to do that at the end. I wasn't
Okay,
ready.
everybody smile again.
Wait, hold on. Let me focus it. 1, 2, 3. Now do a crazy weird face. Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
Woo! Okay, that was kind of like in primary or in church. We have to like stand up and like get all like the wiggles out and like, okay, we're refocusing again. Okay, personal development. That is the fuel for your car. Like that is the fuel for your business. And personal development doesn't always have to be about leadership or social media or running a business. I mean, I just listened to the Magnolia Lane book by Chip and Joanna Gaines, and I loved it. Like I was so inspired. I was so uplifted. It like gave me that oomph that I needed for not only just my life, but my business. I loved it. And I totally felt like it was personal development. So personal development doesn't always have to be business related. It can be whatever you're feeling low in, whatever you're feeling kind of particularly weak or empty in. So right now I'm listening to the Millionaire Messenger that we're all going to be listening to, and I've loved it so far. It's like awesome. But there's so many, and personally, I love listening to books. If it's not on Audible, I'm not going to read it. I just don't have time, and I'm probably going to fall asleep reading it. So, that personal development is huge. That's what's going to give you your inspiration for your posts, your fuel to keep going when you hear no all the time, your, umph to get up and keep pushing through your own journey. So personal development is huge, like game changer. So don't short yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes. Like I usually listen to a lot of mine just driving back and forth in the car with earbuds. After I've dropped my kids off at school or at preschool and I'm driving home by myself, or I'm driving to pick them up, or I'm going to the grocery store. It's huge. It's so super important. So really quick, right now, on the spot, what is your personal development that you are doing right now before we start the Millionaire Messenger? Al, go.
I was going to say Millionaire Messenger. Because
did you listen to it today?
I'm not doing anything right now.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
Stacy, what's your personal development right now?
So I listened to about 20 minutes of the Millionaire Messenger today on my way home from my workout. But I've gotten through like a quarter of 2 books too. The other one is Be Obsessed or Be Average. And I like that one too. I just, I will probably stop that one and listen to this other one with you guys first.
Awesome. Love it. Did you like the first bit of Millionaire Messenger?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Good. Jillian, how about you? What's your personal development right now?
I am always listening to like Chalene, or I like the Model Health Show and the Fat Burning Guy, but none of those things. I just do that because I'm a nerd, and I like I'll watch like documentaries about things just for fun. That doesn't really help with my business or anything. It's just for me. So I'm not doing anything that helps me want to do Beachbody. I'm just listening to stuff for fun.
Which I think that's super important too. It's about personal development. It's about developing you. If you stop learning, then you have less to keep giving, And so I think that is awesome, that you're continuing to develop you,
Then it goes back to my idea that I don't feel like I can do this. Even though I have like all this stuff in my head, I still have like the belief that I can share it with people and that people will like listen to me. Mm-hmm. So I need to focus my personal development on that, probably.
Definitely. Try and pull up on, I'm looking right now so I tell you the right name. On the podcast app, there is, it's called The Charged Life. And it is by... it's Brendan Burchard. Yes. So he's the one, The Charged Life. He's super inspiring. Yep, that's it. Listen to that one. I think that will help you. So awesome.
Yeah, Lucy, like solving everyone's answers with specific personal development. That's pretty awesome.
Let's see, Rachel, what personal development are you doing right now?
I've been listening to a book called this has nothing to do with Beachbody, just saying. It's called The Magic of Tidying Up. Anyone heard of that? It's like the kimono method of cleaning your house. Anyways, but it's actually really good because it talks about like decluttering your life and getting rid of things that don't bring you joy. So anyways, I've been listening to that, but I've been wanting to reread a book called Women, Food, and God. Have you guys heard of that? Anyways, so I'm going to make that a focus in my life, is reading that, because it speaks to my soul. So.
That's awesome. I love that. That sounds really good. Erin, what personal development are you doing right now?
Sorry. I'm doing the Miracle Morning, and I'm reading it, I listen mostly, but I'm finding that I have so much to write down with that one, like steps that I need to do, that I now are trying to do that only when I can write notes. And then I have a devotional called Out of the Spin Cycle, which is like a mommy devotional by Jen Hatmaker. It's very funny, very good. I went back and was re-listening to some GoPro in the car. Like I've read, that was good, but like I kind of think I'm just gonna be cycling back through quite a few of these. And then I do Shalene's podcasts periodically too. She pumps me up. She had a really good one on live videos, and like really practical stuff for our stuff. So, and I'm writing down everything else you guys are saying, because like you said, I'm a PD junkie, so I love it. And it does give me inspiration for posts. It does make the posting so much easier, I think, too. So
Absolutely. Awesome. Great job. And Kelly, what personal development are you doing right now?
Let's see. On my drive back from California, I re-listened to GoPro, and then I also bought The Morning Miracle on audio, but I haven't listened to it. I bought it like 2 weeks ago. So that was going to be my next one, I think, when I drive. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. You guys are doing really, really great. I love the discussion that we've been able to have and how we've been able to learn from each other and what, one another's doing. That's truly what being part of a team, and especially this team, is about, is that we're all working together for a common purpose, and that's to help inspire and uplift and empower others. So we're so appreciative that you have been here, and we're looking forward to this year with you, and know that as just these little things, that it's really about the basics that leads to success. And you are the only one that can define what success looks like, because what it looks like for me might be different what it looks like for Allie, and what it looks like for Allie might be different than it looks for Stacy. So as long as you define your own success, then you'll be successful. So we love you guys. We're so glad to have you on this team, and thanks for being here. So Al, do you have anything else to say?
Just make sure you apply what you wrote down, or else it means nothing. You wasted an hour for being here. So I wrote you down, and I'll see you next week. That's all.
Awesome. Okay, have a good night, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.